Doing NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Thursday, May 11th. Link is in the description below. You can sign up for PrizePicks, or you can use promo code TUFF to sign up. 100% deposit match there. Discord link in the description. Main server completely free. Patreon link in there as well. I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks for each given sport that I do play. Again, I'm not a gambling expert. This is not financial advice. Simply just plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. Again, no one's pressing submit on those parlays except for yourself. We went 1-1 yesterday. The Curry, Draymond assists over 14. Curry did his job. He had 8. Draymond only finished with 2 assists, I believe. I mean, if Draymond has just an average game, that hits the over. Only 2 assists. He was super aggressive offensively, looking to score the ball. He finished with 20 points. So that definitely hurt us here, but 1-1 yesterday, 2-0 the day before, 3-1 over the last 2 days here. Definitely looking these games here, the Philly, Boston, Phoenix versus Denver series, like these days here have been great. I mean, these teams have been kind of not selling. They've been respecting the coin here. So hopefully we can bounce back and replicate a 2-0 night tonight. We got Boston, Philly, like I said, Denver, Phoenix. Both Boston and Phoenix are on the brink of elimination here. Home game for Philly, home game for Phoenix here. So I think all 4 teams are going to play their starters and play their superstars a ton of minutes. I don't think Denver or Philly wants to go and play Game 7, as anything can happen here. But yeah, I got 2 plays here that I'm targeting. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So the first one is Jason Tatum, over 52 fantasy score. We take a look at the last 5 really quick. 3 of his last 5 in this series, with his 1 miss actually coming with 51.5. So he hooked here in 1 game, over in 3 others, and then 1 game where he played 17 minutes. I think he had 20.9. So basically almost very, very close to 4 of 5 games in this series. He's hit the over on this. An elimination game, I'm expecting Jason Tatum to play 40-plus minutes tonight easily. We take a look here at Jason Tatum's fantasy score game log of this season when he plays 39 or essentially 40-plus minutes. Now, in this series, in games where he's played 39-plus minutes, he's 64.7, like I said, a 51.5, where he did have 4 turnovers in that game, 27-10, 5-2, 1. In 43 minutes, only took 20 field goal attempts in that game. I think in an elimination game, he's going to take close to 27 field goal attempts, and really hasn't been shooting the ball well, 27, 16, and 27 from 3. So hopefully he can, get a few more of those 3-point attempts to fall tonight. But you can see, I mean, basically very, very close to over in 4 or 5 in this series. Had 66 here against Atlanta, 52 here against Atlanta, 50 here against Atlanta, and 40-plus minutes in those games. Obviously, a couple of those games were close. Some of them weren't. But we take a look at the hit rate. It's a pretty decent hit rate, honestly, when he does play 40-plus minutes this season. And we look at 52. I mean, these are some pretty massive games for Jason Tatum. I mean, we're talking about a guy who is second in the NBA as far as players that are playing tonight in fantasy points per minute. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 1.36 fantasy points per minute. 1.36 fantasy points per minute. I mean, if we see Jason Tatum play 40-plus minutes tonight, that should be enough to cover based on his per fantasy points per minute average to cover this line of 52, as it is. Obviously, have some push potential here at 52. We take a look at Jason Tatum's fantasy score game log, PRA and fantasy score game log this season against the 76ers when he plays 39-plus minutes. He has hit the over on this in 3 of 4, like I said. He did actually, again, like I said, in all 4 games in this series. We take a look at his PRA. Okay, it's minus 125 on FanDuel, minus 140 on DraftKings to go over, I believe this is over 44.5. You can see here over 44.5. You can see this season when he plays 40-plus minutes, pretty decent hit rate, right? This is a good amount of green here on Outlier. Again, link is in the description below to use Outlier here. Again, wonderful platform. Best app, in my opinion, their mobile app, you guys, iOS and Android. Their mobile app is absolutely insane, 10 out of 10. You get a 7-day free trial using Outlier in the link that is at the top of the description. Link for Outlier in the description of this video. We're talking about a guy, Jason Tatum, here as well. Over the last 5 games on the road, is seeing the highest usage on the team, obviously with 28% usage, averaging 49.7 fantasy points. This is per 36 minutes, you guys, and 1.4 fantasy points per minute. So, I mean, you can see here he's 1.36 over his last 5 average, but if you take that on the road per 36, he's averaging 1.4 fantasy points per minute, which, again, if he plays 40-plus minutes tonight, should put us well over this 52 fantasy score that Jason Tatum is currently sitting at. So, in my opinion, the only risk here, as I do think the game will be close with a 2.5-point spread, the only risk is if Jason Tatum just comes out and stinks it up and just doesn't play well. Like, literally, that's the only way, in my opinion, this doesn't hit. You can see the hit rate this season in this series. I mean, if Jason Tatum just comes out and plays horrible, which he hasn't played great, in my opinion, in this series. Like, he really hasn't played great. He shot 40% from the field, 27% from three, and still finished with 59.5 fantasy in that game 5 at home. So I think Jason Tatum is in a great spot here. He had his best statistical game against Philly on the road in that game 4, 24, 18, 6, 1, 4, and 2 turnovers. Only shot 45% from the field as well, which is okay, but then shot 16% from three, only made one three-pointer. So I think Jason Tatum here at 52, a little bit too low in an elimination game where he's obviously going to play a massive amount of minutes, 42, 43, 44. I mean, Jason Tatum is in a spot here where in my opinion, I mean, he can play north of 44. We even saw him play 47, 47, 48 here in 49 minutes this season. So I like Jason Tatum over 52 fantasy score tonight versus Philly. The second play is going to be Nikola Jokic, and we're going right back to him here at 52.5 PRA on the road in Phoenix. So 2 of his best games in this series actually came on the road in Phoenix, where he had 64 and 68 PRA. We take a look at the odds really quickly here for this. It's minus 140 on FanDuel here to go over 52.5 fantasy. Now, again, like I said, in the previous game, I think on whatever that day was, Thursday, so Tuesday, this PRA line was at 53.5, and we took the over on it, and he finished with 54, where he didn't really play the last 3-4 minutes of the game because Denver kind of got away from Phoenix. But in a close game, I mean, Jokic, this line just seems a little bit too low. He had 68 and 64 PRA in 2 games on the road in Phoenix. We take a look at outlier, like I said, on the road, like I said, in 3 over on this in 3 or 4 games this season on the road, or essentially over his last 10 on the road. So we know Jokic, the road factor doesn't really play a role for him at all. The hit rate here for this PRA game log this season when he plays 38 plus minutes is extremely high as well. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of 15 games this season. When he's played over 38 minutes, he's hit the over on this. So 12 over 15 games, he's hit the over. If we take a look at this versus Phoenix, I mean, even obviously he's hit this in the playoff games this season of 68, 64, and 60, right? But he had a game back here against Phoenix where he had 71 PRA versus Phoenix, so in 44 minutes. So he absolutely cooks DeAndre Ayton. He cooks whoever's really playing in that post in the center position here for Phoenix. So Jokic, obviously, in a game where Denver's going to be trying to win, it's a close spread, 3-point spread, possibly no DeAndre Ayton, which would just absolutely allow Jokic to feast, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, I think the Lawndale guy is a better defender than Jokic. Better defender than Ayton as far as defending Jokic. So, but regardless, I mean, they're not going to allow Jokic is not going to allow Jock Lawndale to stop him from doing what he does. We take a look at Jokic away over the last 4 games here, including this is the last 4, including the first round series. 34% usage, 33 points per game, 9.8 rebounds, and 10.5 assists. I mean, this is clearing 52.5 PRA here easily. Over the last 5 games in this series, Jokic averaging 14.6 potential assists for converting 10 assists per game, and then 21.6 rebounding chances, converting 13.8 rebounds per game. Like I said here, great hit rate. If we look at the head-to-head this season, just in general, pretty decent hit rate. I mean, he's hit this essentially 5 of the last 7 games with 2 misses at 48 PRA and 28 minutes here he missed, and 33 minutes here he missed. I see Jokic playing 40 minutes tonight, just a little bit too low. A discount here from what we saw in Game 5 where he had 53, finished with 54. I like the discount here with Jokic. Great odds for us here as well, an outlier, minus 140 on FanDuel. These are the 2 plays here for this YouTube video. 2 members of the All-NBA team. Jokic got All-NBA second team. Pretty crazy to me. But I like these 2 plays here. Patreon plays. I'll have about 5 to 6 core plays here, aside from these 2, obviously, on Patreon today with full write-ups. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about these 2. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.